Is it possible to start a good business with no money down? Can I still work my normal job, but create some extra revenue on the side? What are the steps on how this would work exactly? The answer is yes, this is possible. And in this video, I'll tell you exactly how to generate extra revenue from EV chargers without having to invest any money. I've been thinking about this a lot. You don't need to borrow any money. You don't need to go to the bank and take out a loan. You can get this started with nothing. In the previous two EV charging companies that I helped launch, one of them had quite a bit of money and the other one had no money, and both of them were successful. We just had two completely different approaches. And in this video, we're going to explore some ideas on how to make this work with $0. And make sure you stick around to the end because that's the most important point. And just before we dive in, I'd love if you were to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and please comment below if you have any thoughts about this business. So in most of my previous videos, I talk a lot about paying for the entire project so you can own the chargers and have full control. This is what we did in one of my previous companies, and it worked really well. This is still the best option because it keeps you in the power position. You own the chargers, so you get to make all the decisions around them. You can decide how much it costs to use the chargers. You get 100% of the profits that go into the chargers. And because you paid for everything, you're the one that gets the rebates back from the government to help reimburse you for all of your costs. You also receive the carbon credits because you're the owner. You get all the great benefits, but the downside is you have to put a lot of money down to pay for everything. But what if you didn't have like $5,000 to invest to start this business? Is there still a way that you can start with no money? Let's walk through each step on how to do this. But first, if you're like me and you think this industry is going to explode over the next 5 years and you want to learn exactly how to set up your own business, then I have a course for you below. Okay, so back to getting started. So there is a way to launch your business and start making money without putting any money down. And this actually might be the smartest way to get started, at least for the first handful of projects. So you can kind of learn the ropes and figure out how everything works with zero risk. I'll be going over this on a high level overview, but again, if you want the exact step-by-steps, then that's in the course below. So step number 1 is to generate interest. Before you can sell something, you need to find someone that is interested in buying it, right? And this is where you can start generating leads, and you can do this for free. This is a never-ending process because you always want a steady stream of opportunities coming in to keep your business going. What did Wayne Gretzky say? You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. And this really applies to this. Every time you reach out and create a new opportunity, you're creating another chance to score. The more shots you take, the higher chance that you're going to create a good opportunity, right? And I want to be honest with you, this is the hardest part of your business. I was in sales for over 10 years, so I got used to constantly reaching out. People don't get back to you, you get ignored, you get up, you keep fighting, you start trying again, and eventually things start to get going. But it is an almost internal battle within yourself to just not give up and keep going. Yeah, it is really hard, but for me, the feeling of that victory, like when you get one, when you catch a fish, it's worth all those days and hours of reaching out and being ignored. And if you're worried about people rejecting you, don't worry too much about that because no one's going to actually reject you to your face. If anything, they're just probably not going to get back to you. To me, finally landing one is worth it. I love that feeling. And landing the first project is by far the hardest. It took me a couple months to get the first one, but after you get one, you'll be shocked at how quickly the others start coming in. But where should you start? Who should you go after first? I'm a huge fan of targeting condos. Condo buildings are super valuable, super profitable, huge growth potential, and you're solving a really big problem for them. You can create an offer sheet in Canva and start emailing it out to property managers and other buildings that you might be interested in. You could even physically email it out to people, and All an offer sheet is a one-page document just highlighting all the best parts of your business and why they should choose your offer. And once you get people responding to you, then you can go to the next step of your business. And you might be thinking, okay, but then what? What happens if I get a condo interested and they want to move forward, but I haven't even really set up my business yet? Well, that's good. That's actually what you want. So, how does this work? So, once you find a building that's interested in your chargers, then the next step is to quote the project. This is more just traditional sales. You find the project, then bring an electrician to the site with you to quote how much it will cost to install the chargers at their location. Once you get a quote from the electrician on the cost, then you'll create a quote in Canva and you'll send that to the client, or specifically the host. The host is just whoever owns the building that you're going to be installing your charger. They're the host of your charger. But if the host paid for everything, then how do we make money? Well, there are two ways. The first way is by making money off of the install itself or marking up the project itself. So if the electrician quotes us, let's say $5,000 to install a charger at the location, then we're not trying to sell it for $5,000, right? We want to make some money. So we're going to take that quote and we're going to mark it up 20, maybe 30%. And we're going to send it to the host, to the client, for $7,000. So if they move forward, we're going to make $2,000 on the project right off the jump. But is that it? We just get paid once and then we move on to the next one? Nope. There's still a way that we can make money month after month. And this leads me to my next point, which is recurring revenue. So we're able to make money off of a subscription model. So the chargers will need software to do lots of things like process the payments, and you'll need to pay for the software every month. And this is called a networking fee. So let's say you use a company like ChargeLab, for example, and they bill you $25 per month per charger to use their software. But you're not going to eat that cost. You want to pass that on to the host to help pay for it, right? And ideally, this is where we're going to make a profit. So if it costs us $25, then we're going to resell it to the host for $100 a month. So this means that every month, no matter what, we're going to make $75 off of each charger that we install. Now you might be thinking, oh, $75, that's not a whole lot. But remember, you started this business with nothing. You went from zero to $2,000 from marking up the project cost. And also now you get $75 a month per charger. But are there positives and negatives to this? This might sound unbelievable or too good to be true. So let's break down the pros and cons. Let's start with the pros, and these are the positives for you. So the main ones, I'll just rattle them off. No money down. You can start with nothing. Great way to start and test the market. You can kind of get your feet wet and figure out exactly how it works. There's a big profit upfront from reselling the install cost. You get dependable income every month. It might be a little bit low, but we're going to build slowly. We're not stopping at 2 chargers. We're trying to have a whole fleet across a bunch of condos. And one of the best things is you get paid first. So if the client decides to move forward with the project, then you're going to request that they pay a 50% deposit just to get started. This means that you have money first before you need to do anything else. You'll have money in the bank to order your charger, pay for the software, and pay probably a deposit to the electrician. Okay, so what are the cons? What are the negatives? There has to be some downsides to this. So some of the cons are the profits are pretty small at first. It's also kind of risky starting a business with literally $0. So you might want to have a little bit just in case you get stuck in a situation. The profits are a little bit lower at first because, again, low investment, low profits, but we're just getting started, so that's fine. The next con would be you're not going to make any revenue from the chargers. Usually it's tough to ask for profits from the chargers if you didn't pay for anything, but that's okay. We're going to be living off our networking fees for now. And also you have less control over the chargers and what happens to them because they're not yours. You didn't pay for them. And the biggest downside, or really what you're sacrificing or you're giving up here, is your time and your energy. It's sweat equity here at the beginning. But just like any business that you try to get off the ground and get going, it's going to take a lot of time and energy. Believe me when I say that. So no matter what, whatever business you're starting is going to require a bunch of time, energy, and money. But with this model, you can sidestep the money for now. But is this the best way to make money from EV chargers? The profits seem a little bit low. This is a great way to start for maybe your first 5 projects, or you can pick and choose which projects you want to use this model for. But no, the best way to make money from EV chargers is to collect 100% of the revenue that goes into the chargers. That's the most profitable way as of right now, and it's just going to continue to grow. Right now, only about 10% of people drive EVs, and it's already profitable. So imagine in the next 5 years when those numbers go through the roof, so will your profits. And I love condos because you're solving a huge problem. Instead of them having to pay like 300, 400 grand to put chargers in every single residential stall, you're just putting a couple communal chargers in, let's say, the visitor parking area that anybody in the building that has an EV, they can just drive up, park, use your chargers, and then go back down to their own spots. So it's a great selling point for condos. And once you're in, it might even encourage other people to buy an EV. You know, they're looking around and they see an EV charger in their building and they say 80% of people like to charge at home. So it might encourage them for their next car to switch to electric, and boom, you just got another customer. So that's a high level overview of how you can make this work with no money. But if you want a step-by-step guide on exactly what you need to do to make this thing work, then all of that is in the course below. Thanks so much for subscribing, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.